What if you possessed a weapon so powerful, so terrifying, that you decided the secret of its creation was too dangerous for humanity to keep? This isn't the plot of a blockbuster movie. This was the reality for the Byzantine Empire and their superweapon, Greek fire. For centuries, it was the ultimate defense, a liquid fire that clung to flesh, couldn't be extinguished by water, and saved an empire from annihilation time and again. But the same empire that perfected it also ensured its formula would be deliberately lost to history. The question is, why? Our story begins in the 7th century. The Byzantine Empire, the surviving eastern half of the Roman Empire, was on the brink of collapse. Wave after wave of Arab fleets were laying siege to the capital, Constantinople. The city's fall seemed inevitable. Then a mysterious refugee named Kallinikos of Heliopolis arrived, carrying a secret. He presented the emperor with the formula for a weapon that would change the course of history. It was a thick, liquid substance projected from bronze tubes or siphons mounted on the bows of their ships. Think of it as ancient napalm, a sticky, burning terror that couldn't be put out with water. In fact, some accounts suggest water only made it burn more intensely. It produced a thunderous roar and thick smoke, striking fear into the hearts of their enemies. The secret was so vital, its knowledge was confined to the emperor and Kallinikos' family, passed down from one generation to the next. But this created an impossible puzzle for their enemies and for future historians. How did it actually work? For centuries, the formula for Greek fire remained one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. Early theories suggested it was a simple mix of known ingredients like sulfur or pitch. Others proposed it involved quicklime, which reacts violently with water. But none of these could replicate the terrifying effects described in historical texts. The breakthrough came not from a single discovery, but from a new way of thinking. Historians and scientists realized they weren't looking for a simple recipe, but a complex chemical process. The most likely composition was a petroleum or naphtha-based formula mixed with pine resin to make it sticky and other unknown ingredients. The aha moment was understanding that the entire delivery system was part of the weapon. The Byzantines weren't just throwing fire, they were weaponizing chemistry. The liquid was likely heated and pressurized within the siphon, creating a primitive flamethrower that was devastatingly effective in naval combat. The so-called secret formula was as much about advanced engineering as it was about the ingredients themselves. This weapon saved Constantinople during two crucial Arab sieges and was the shield of the empire for centuries. Its deadliness in combat has been cited as a primary reason for the long survival of the Byzantine Empire. Yet, by the time of the Crusades, mentions of its use fade away. It appears the secret was guarded so closely that as the empire waned and access to key ingredients from the East was lost, the knowledge simply vanished. They had created a weapon so decisive they couldn't risk it falling into enemy hands, even if it meant losing it themselves. This brings us to a fascinating debate. The Byzantines chose to let their greatest military advantage disappear forever, likely because they feared it being used against them. Was it a strategic blunder, or a uniquely responsible act in the history of warfare? Let me know your theory in the comments below. And if you want more ancient mysteries solved, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell.